Ferocious Wraith. Welcome everybody to the first in a series that I would like to call Word of the Wraith. In this series, we're going to be discussing things for the likes of movies, television, gaming, music, and all that various jazz. All things entertainment here. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that I believe has been long overdue to get my hammer put down on it. And that would be the DC Cinematic Universe, the state of DC, what I think of everything, what I think of all the bad decisions, the good decisions. So today, sit back, relax, and let's delve into everything DC in this first segment. The wrath of the Wraith is coming down upon thee. My anger, my rage at the pure frustration that is the firing of one Henry Cavill, our Superman from a supposed time of 2013 up until now, supposed to have been Superman, but has only been given such limited amount of use despite being absolutely perfect in the role. And now I know many people will argue the writing hasn't been perfect. Yes, we understand that. But Henry Cavill was perfectly cast as Superman, has been passionate about the role, has done his research, and has been nothing but a pleasure to see on screen every time he's there. And then the audacity of one James Gunn when we finally get that John Williams music for our wonderful Superman return in Black Adam. He comes around. James Gunn says this, literally says it here, that he personally is the one that spoke to Henry and said, bye-bye.
How can you do this?
Because we got to reboot.
Outrageous.
We messed up in
It's
DC,
unfair.
you see. Oh, everything hasn't been so good. I'm afraid we're going to have to go with yet another reboot for Superman? About another young Superman story? Are you fucking serious? All you had to do if you were rebooting was just say, here's Superman, he's Henry Cavill, has nothing to do with those other fucking movies, and we would have been fine. Sure, you would have had some of those absolutely kind of crazy Snyder cultists over there on Twitter going like, oh my god, it's not Zack Snyder, you know?
For me.
I will not watch it. So, just because some of those people are vocal does not mean we wouldn't have wanted to see Henry Cavill try one more time, because damn it, Man of Steel was amazing. I will say this every chance I get. Man of Steel is one of my favorite superhero movies, made me a fan of Superman, and sure, Batman vs. Superman, a little bit of a disappointment, but the potential we could have had with Justice League, going from that, could have had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and all those people, maybe hopefully Green Lantern fighting Darkseid, but no. Time to start again, because Warner Bros. Fucked up at trying to be like Marvel. And who gets the fucking blame? The actors. Henry Cavill, and of course, all the other actors get canned too, so while this is mainly segmented towards Henry, we also have to bow our heads and say, damn, we lost everybody due to this. And, of course, probably not everybody, right? Like, all of James Gunn's little favorites is going to stay, right? Now, yes, I may sound absolutely like I hate James Gunn, but I don't. I love the Guardians movies. I love Suicide Squad. But he is making some absolutely brain-dead decisions right now, and I will not stand for it. we as fans had just gotten Henry back. Right after Black Adam, we get the wonderful tease. And we even get the announcement from him himself. Not only that, but if you're a Henry Cavill fan like I am, we also lost him as Geralt of Rivia because, while yes, he had issues with the show, we know for a fact he would have definitely left that because he was going to be Superman, but here we go. We don't even get to have fucking anything.
I can't believe
Instead,
you've done this.
We have to move on now. I am very excited he's going to get the role in Warhammer 40k. I've only played a little bit of a Warhammer Vermintide myself. I don't know if it's connected, but either way, whatever it is, I'm on board. It's got Henry, and he's made me a fan of not only Superman, but also Geralt of Rivia and The Witcher lore itself, so thank God for that. But how could we get the ultimate blue balls treatment by fucking DC, Warner Bros. Discovery, and James Gunn? It's a travesty. Like, I get it. Mistakes were made. We got to reboot, but what about everything else? Like, what about Batman? You know, like, we already still have this new Batman universe that we're doing, but oh, I'm sorry, it's separate. We can't have Robert Pattinson be with the other superheroes. We just gotta have yet another attempt at a Batman trilogy, like The Dark Knight, like the Burton movies. It's just like, man, he is gonna be such an awesome Batman, and how come we can't have him join in on the Justice League? Why does it have to be separate, man? It just really grinds my gears. Like, I do think we could get a good DC universe born under James Gunn, but the baggage that is basically, you know, completely disregarding everything that came before, destroying it all, does not come without fan outrage like this. I have been waiting for Henry Cavill to come back for a whole bunch of years, man. Like, he's only been Superman a handful of times, and that is an outrage. He has not gotten his goddamn sequel, and now he never will. And I'm pissed. Royally pissed, you see. So now DC is all back to the beginning. Just poof. You know, we just have to pretend that the past whole 10 years has not existed. What does that mean for Shazam 2? What does that mean for The Flash? What does it mean for Aquaman 2? Who knows? Because apparently, oh, Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo now. Oh, sounds like a cool idea, but he's already our Aquaman, so it's just a bunch of bullshit. Like, good luck. That's all I gotta say is good luck trying to make money with the new DC universe. Whatever you present to us has to be gold for me to be interested anymore, because you have betrayed my trust. Why even let Black Adam be made in the first place if we were thinking like this? Like, this has to be one of the most drastic decisions I have ever seen. And it's shameful. Absolutely shameful. Yes, this has been 30 minutes of me just pissed off. Or no, it's only been like 8 minutes. I don't know how long it's been, but it's, dude, it feels like it's been longer, but I am just outraged. I have been waiting my whole life for more. You know, I've been waiting my whole life for Black Adam, but then now we just have to basically say that's pointless too. And I guess whatever James Gunn did in Suicide Squad seemingly is now somewhat up in the air. Surely they can't get rid of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, right? Or John Cena as Peacemaker. But, oh, well, if they keep those, surely they have to keep Henry Cavill, right? Wrongo. This is frustrating. So, you're supposed to get people to accept a new Superman after all this? We were strung along for 10 fucking years, and this is the thanks we get. Henry Cavill definitely deserves better. How many years has been wasted for him wanting to be Superman? How many years? 9. And was the result worth it? God the potential. That is the word of the day. That is potential. And that potential was wasted. We put everything on the shoulders of one man, Zack Snyder, and we also overpressured him and made him completely rush a run into the shared universe like Marvel. And that didn't really get us that far, did it? We need time. And granted, maybe that will finally happen. Maybe James Gunn will have introduction films for everybody, and then boom, Justice League. But is it too late? Can it undo the damage? The Snyder cultists, I guess, if you want to call them that, are a big number. Or maybe they're just a vocal minority. But it seems to me like they're a pretty big number. So they're still going to be out there, and they're probably going to boycott everything. So that's an issue. Black Adam underperformed, even with The Rock. So what can we really expect out of a new Superman movie without Henry? Henry is one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood right now, and you wasted him. What kind of fucking role can you give him after Superman? Like, James Gunn's like, oh, we could give you a new role, right? We might be interested in giving you another role in the future. But not Superman. Okay. I mean, I feel like I've covered this for a while, but I'll just say once again, Man of Steel really is one of my favorite movies, and oh, the potential it could have had. But I'm also upset about The Witcher and the way that's gone too. It's just, it has been difficult to be a Henry Cavill fan. It really, like, truly difficult. But the man's got talent. I saw him as Sherlock Holmes recently, and he was really good in that. And I bet he could even be a good James Bond in the future. So his future's got to be good. It's just, man, the waste. It hurts. Well, anyway, time to move on to our next point in the topic, which is that of uncertainty. That of the treatment of actors in the past. Like, that's the problem with DC. It can be summed up with uncertainty. It can be summed up with bad transparency. Because DC, Warner Bros., whatever we want to go by, they have not been very good communicating with their fans. So much uncertainty as to where we'd go. After all this stuff with Snyder, there's been no clear-cut answers, and if there's only one good fucking silver lining, if you can even call it that, it's that we finally know what's going to happen with Henry Cavill's Superman. But beyond that, we've had tons of cancellations, including that of Batgirl. A lot of DC TV shows are likely in trouble, thanks to the whole Discovery merger. And problems among that are just the people that were employed treated people wrong. And I just don't know if there's been a true justice for that. All the things that went wrong, like Ray Fisher. Everything with that was just wrong. And I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, who are these people at DC? Why were they the way they were, Cyborg could have been and was the heart of the movie with the Snyder Cut. But because of what happened, now, of course, we're going to have to recast Cyborg. It's just, man, like, why has all this happened? Like, it almost seems like there's just been a curse. Just an absolute train wreck, the DC universe. And it's almost like they're afraid to do anything besides Batman. They do Batman, and that's about it. They try with Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman had a horrible sequel, so I guess we're done with that too. I mean, really, we're just done with everything. It's still just kind of crazy to think about that we're just still getting these movies, kind of like The Flash, getting a movie still, even though we're done. Like, we're apparently resetting the entire timeline, so they expect me to go into the theater and watch The Flash to watch The Flash do what James Gunn's gonna do, and that's completely destroy the timeline. Reboot absolutely everything. It's just insane. And I wish DC would do something with other characters. Like, I guess now we're finally getting Blue Beetle. Green Lantern has basically been developmental hell for a whole decade. And therein lies the problem. Like, I'll be real with all of you. I am someone who doesn't read all the comics, who doesn't know all the lore. I'm gonna be completely honest and just be, I am somebody who is going into this who watches the movies, watches the shows, and plays the games. And as a fan who's like that, I basically know jack shit on Green Lantern. I think that's a problem. Don't you? Don't you? I feel like Green Lantern, from what I understand, has a lot of different characters that could be utilized and a lot of different potential for the powers he has. Like, why are they not making movies based on this character? The characters just makes no sense, you know? I just don't get it. Like, the last thing we got was that Green Lantern animated movie with Jon Stewart, and Hal was in it too, and man, I don't even know much about all this, but I did not like what they did with Hal in that movie. Like, that's all I could say. So I did not like what they did. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Green Lantern, the recent animated movie, I don't recommend it. I just don't know where we're gonna go with DC. I really don't. Like, they need to communicate better with their fans. They need to honestly make more video games about characters other than Batman. Yeah, we got Gotham Knights, cool, but it's still just more Bat stuff. Like, I don't know why they won't really try a Superman game, or maybe a Green Lantern game. I guess we're getting Suicide Squad now, but I just don't really feel like Suicide Squad is that interesting as a gameplay type of thing. Like, we want to play as someone like Superman or Green Lantern, you know? Like, we want some superpowers. Instead, we're mostly just, you know, criminals. I mean, sure, King Shark's is going to be fun to play as, but how come we haven't gotten a goddamn Superman game, man? It's frustrating.
What's happening?
Alright, well, in this part of the video, I just want to do a quick little retrospective on just everything that we've gotten in the DC Cinematic Universe ever since it happened. So, as we all know how I think about Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League, mainly, I mean, if I could sum it up, is just Man of Steel is just full of hope, full of action, thrills, great character development, and overall, just really good fucking movie. I don't understand the criticism at all. And, you know, once again, like, potential, but Batman vs. Superman pretty much went too far, you know? Like, it definitely felt rushed. Just throwing Batman in there, and then the problem really is that they had a Batman, Ben Affleck, who was already at the end of his career, who had already seen so much shit. And we never even learned why he was killing people, really. We just, that was it. We just get thrown in there. There's Batman with fucking machine guns and turrets and
oh my god,
branding people. And it's just like, man, that doesn't seem very Batman-like at all, does it? He seems more like a Punisher type of character, if anything. And then he's just hell-bent on killing Superman just because he's a threat. Or he could be a threat. And yeah, that does fall in line with Batman and his contingency plans, as we all know, but that's not what we want to see in a Batman versus Superman movie, or even a Batman-Superman team-up. And that's really what I would have done, is I would have done a Batman-Superman team-up. Maybe they had our odds a little bit. Like, yeah, Batman could be upset about everything that happened in Man of Steel, but I feel like the fight was just predictable, right? Like, kryptonite, 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 kryptonite. That's all we ever fucking do. And then Superman's done. Why is that interesting to watch Batman versus Superman? I'm genuinely curious for you guys. Question for you down below. Do you really want to see Batman fight Superman? Does that interest you? Because me? Nah. I want to see Superman face people of his own power. That's why Man of Steel was so damn good, because Zod was on his level, if not better, among the others. He was fighting basically gods among humans. That's why we had the destruction. That's why it felt like fucking, I don't know, Dragon Ball, you know, in live action or something, right? Just completely over the top and just fun, you know. Just the action, I definitely feel, is Zack Snyder's one of his top qualities for sure. But anyway, why do we get a movie with Batman being at the end of his career instead of in the beginning? Just didn't really make much sense. But and of course, what can we say? They rushed Superman's death. They killed him immediately. That makes no sense. And probably the most anticlimactic way you could possibly imagine. Just why, you know? I will definitely agree with some people. Zack Snyder's ways of kind of presenting Superman like a Jesus Christ type of figure, it was a little too much, you know? Like, I mean, I don't want to get too into this, but you could see all the comparisons, you know, rises from the dead and stands there with his arms up and stuff, you know. It's just like, okay, yeah, he's a savior. I mean, anybody who's a superhero is a savior to people. Like, that goes without saying, you know. Like, anybody who takes the risks, they're a hero, you know, whoever you are. But I think the Superman portrayal went a little too far into that sort of stuff, and maybe should have cut that down a bit. But personally, though, it's not a big deal to me. Like, maybe that's just where the disconnect is, but I don't know. I feel especially like how they basically introduced the Justice League through YouTube videos. I just thought that was just ridiculous. Just the most anticlimactic way of introducing the Justice League. And that shows you that's what happens when you put it all into one movie. You just can't, right? Overall, I think if I can just kind of gather my thoughts, it's just Zack Snyder definitely had great ideas, definitely made great stories, but I feel they just weren't the stories that we needed, you know? Maybe they would have been fun as just kind of Elseworld stuff like Joker. You know, if we could look at some of these movies like Batman v Superman in the same way we looked at Joker and the Batman, I guess, where they're not really connected, that would be a much better solution versus, you know, calling this the cinematic universe of DC. That was the problem. Because nobody wanted to see that. We just want the Justice League, man. Like, we just want all these heroes to exist in the same universe without just this overly serious tone that gets rid of the fun, you know? That is the stem of the problem. Like, they just rushed too much into it. And Justice League, the production itself, I mean, we all know how that went. Losing Zack Snyder as director, and then just this entire civil war with the Snyder Cut and
watch out for me.
Restore the Snyderverse. It's just like, maybe that's just why we've had to reboot, because I guess the damage was done, and I don't know if there's anything that can undo that damage. I think time needs to pass, and we need to get something hopeful. I just wish we could have kept Henry. There was no reason to get rid of him. I thought, you know, my theory with the Flash movie was that perhaps Barry was going to reset the timeline, but maybe they'd keep the actors and just maybe their memories are erased, or they just start anew again. But I guess whatever he does, just man, it almost seems like he's just going to destroy it at this point. Like, goddamn. But what I want to do is just some quick thoughts on some of the other movies. Talk about Snyder movies all day and their issues, but I thought the Wonder Woman movies were pretty good, except for the second one. I mean, well, when I say movies, I just mean the first one was really good, and then the second one, way too much Steve Trevor. That's all I can really say about that. It was kind of creepy, like everything she did in that movie. You know, basically, someone else having Steve Trevor's essence, I guess, and then her, and that person doing things. It's just kind of wrong, and I think a lot of people realize that. That's why that franchise failed. Aquaman was certainly a good time, but unfortunately now we have that baggage with Amber Heard, and there's just a lot of baggage in general. Like Ezra Miller, everything with Ezra Miller has just been a pure disaster. Like, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I think Ezra Miller might not be fit for Hollywood, if you ask me. And I think after this movie, they're probably just going to get rid of Ezra. So, that's all that needs to be said. Shazam is probably one of the best, if not the best, typical Kate flick. It's just really good comedy, really lighthearted, a lot of good heart. And I was hoping maybe in the sequel we get Black Adam, but I guess now I don't even think it's going to last. There's my problem. Maybe I don't even want to watch Shazam 2 now, because apparently that's not going to last either. So it just doesn't make sense, does it? So much money being left on the table just for it all to be scrapped. And then I really like the Suicide Squad movies. I mean, even the first Suicide Squad movie has moments, but God, that thing was a mess too. And then, oh, don't even get me started. We even have another little cultist type thing with the Ayer cut, and it's just like, man,
Watch out for
this
me.
is exhausting. Like, what is going on with DC, man? It's just ridiculous. But, because James Gunn's Suicide Squad is really good, though. Really good. Honest to God, I mean, there's definitely a good batch of DC movies out there. And maybe I'm not going to go through them all after all, but I think it just sucks that we had to just throw them away. I thought Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was definitely one of the highlights. Everything she did was gold. Birds of Prey, not without its issues, especially with the depictions of some characters, but the movie was gold. It's her as Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie is just really good, man. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, so I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. I'm gonna find one more topic, and then we'll just kind of end this up. It's kind of disjointed, maybe I'm not well structured yet, but I felt the need to just get some of my thoughts of DC out there. So yeah. One of the last things I wanted to do before I wrap this up was basically just talk about some of the things I would do if I was in charge. Yeah, it's pretty simple with that. First things first, the Batman should be a part of the main continuity. In fact, if we are rebooting and we have to get rid of some people, just say that the Batman is the first movie of this new reboot. And then Henry's Superman remains the same actor, but it's a new take. Like, maybe... God, like, honestly, if I think about it this way, How about Man of Steel is kind of like, I guess, revamped into like, so maybe we just, but then you create this discourse, right? Where if I scrap BVS and Justice League, then basically Snyder fans will be like, oh, you can't do that.
Watch out for me!
I don't know, I mean, maybe we could just kind of do a little retcon, right? And just maybe say Superman exists as Henry Cavill, but maybe we just kind of... Maybe it could be kind of like what they're going to do with Daredevil, right? Where they're going to take some of the basic concepts of that show and then do the new show in the Marvel Universe. That could be a whole other discussion on another day, but just let Henry be Superman and then go from there, you know? I'm not an expert writer. Maybe one day I will be. I am going to study to be a writer, but just have Henry exist in the Batman universe. As for Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, Black Adam, like, I feel like it's going to be kind of a controversial opinion, but just get rid of the actors that have had problems, right? Like, keep ones like Henry who don't really have any baggage, but, you know, I think, I don't want to be that guy, but I think Gal Gadot has had her issues, and we might not be able to keep her as Wonder Woman, but, you know, I guess this is definitely, when you think about it like this, it is really difficult to just wipe the timeline and then start anew. I guess we just pretty much had to accept it, like, if it's a reboot. But if we're just being drastic, if it's just me, like, I'm kind of toying with this right now, but like maybe just keep Robert Pattinson and Henry Cavill as Batman and Superman and go from there. Like, I know we gotta sort out Wonder Woman, right? Because we gotta have the Trinity. With that one, I don't really have much of an opinion as to whether you should keep Gal or not, but that's a tricky one. But Batman and Superman are some of the core members of DC, and they need to absolutely be set in stone. And I think doing the most popular ones, like Pattinson and Cavill, would be a good start. But, geez, from what I understand, James is just going to completely start from new. I mean, God, maybe we'll get yet another Batman, and it's just like, I don't want that, man. Like, I'm tired of getting Batman after Batman after Batman after Batman after Batman. Just give me one solid Batman, and I think Pattinson is. Like, Jesus, like, even if I had to absolutely give up Henry, just keep Pattinson. He just started. Let him be Batman. We don't need anybody else, because we're going to get the inevitable comparisons, and that's the problem, too, with the new Superman. Even with the new Wonder Woman, we're gonna get it for every character. Comparisons, and it's just, I guess if you think about it, we've never had to reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So far, we haven't rebooted X-Men. Though we have, okay, I guess we sort of reboot X-Men, but not really. You know, it kind of all exists in the same thing, so that doesn't really count. But Fantastic Four was rebooted, but if you think about it, like, from a whole shared universe standpoint, DC's doing something very unprecedented, and God, it is just not easy to think about how to reboot this shit. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. Like, do you think it's absolutely just everything needs to be wiped, or would you keep parts? Like, I personally would keep Robert Pattinson, Henry Cavill, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and granted, those would be my top 3 choices to keep. I would also keep Shazam and Black Adam. But when it comes to Aquaman and Oh God, what do we even do with Cyborg? Because I don't think Ray Fisher's ever gonna work with them again. So yeah, we gotta God, this is just a disaster. Maybe instead of just saying what I would do, I just need to cap this off by just saying DC is so royally fucked right now. Good luck getting anybody to be on board with this shit. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but yeah, the state of DC, a disaster. DC Cinematic Universe, good luck. And it may sound like I'm someone that doesn't want change, but I want the shit to succeed. I want a good, solid DC Cinematic Universe. I may be a little angry, very angry rather, with James Gunn with this decision, but I just want to make this clear. I don't want any harmfulness. I wish no ill will towards anybody. I'm just stating my thoughts, and I do wish Mr. James Gunn very good luck with the DC Cinematic Universe, but you basically hit me with a low blow here by getting rid of Henry Cavill, and maybe that's just what this video is all about at the end of the day. You got rid of one of my favorite fucking characters, my favorite portrayals of all time, and it sucks. But at least we have the Batman, right? Well, anyway, guys, that's the end of this crazy, disjointed first attempt at what I call the Word of the Wraith. I think in the future I'll probably shorten it a bit, Probably go for maybe 20-minute long or 15-minute, 10-minute. I don't know. Give me some suggestions and we'll see what we could do from there. Honestly, just looking back at what I said in the video, it's just it is incredibly hard to work around all the issues DC has had, not just with the movies, but also the actors, and just figure out how to reboot this. So, what would you guys do, How can you fix it? Is there no fixing it? And I guess there is, because there is no fixing it because they are just rebooting, so. What is everybody's thoughts on DC? What do you think about their video game department? Animation. We didn't even talk about animation. But if you do want a quick summary of animation, I think because they fucked up Hal Jordan, I'm pretty upset with them already, but yeah. Animation's animation, it's fine. I mean, at least they do it, unlike Marvel, right? But yep, that's it for the video. And I will see you guys very soon because I'm going to be recording more in this very day. So get excited. Alright, bye.